God Logic and a Muslim started a conversation about Paul's confirmation as a disciple, but it ended up focusing on Muhammad's confirmation as a prophet. Let's watch this until the end to witness an unexpected conclusion.
How about Joker?
Joker this time?
Okay.
All right, Joker it is, man. All right, so tell me, man, why don't you like Paul, man?
Well, earlier you were saying like, why is like Muhammad more reliable than Paul? I had a question about Paul. Is he from the Abrahamic lineage?
Yes, he's of the tribe of Benjamin. He's an Israelite of the tribe of Benjamin.
And why was it like? Do you guys have any proof he was actually a prophet? Like,
so he got a visitation from Jesus when he was on the road to Damascus to go unalive some Christians. This is Acts chapter 9. And he was blinded by the light of Jesus. And Jesus called him from that point forward to go preach the gospel in his name to the Jews and also to the Gentiles, the non-Jews. And he performed miracles to show that he was called by Jesus, and his life literally changed. Say that again.
What miracles did he perform?
Healed the sick, casted out evil spirits, the demons.
What was the first one?
Healed the sick.
Healed the sick.
Mm-hmm.
Like, how sick were they? Were they blind? Or was it like
they were sick? They had all kinds of sicknesses. I think leprosies and all kinds of stuff.
Like a common cold or like an actual like sickness, illness?
Common cold is a sickness, bro. But yeah, sick. It just says there's sicknesses and diseases. They had diseases, sicknesses, and he healed them by the power of Jesus.
That sounds like something. That doesn't sound like a miracle, but I'll give it to you. How about the next one?
It doesn't sound like a miracle to heal the sick.
I mean, I feel like a doctor could do that.
Well, a doctor subscribes medicine. But Paul laid his hands on people and said it in
a sickness of home.
Well, not really. Paul lays his hands.
Placebo effect, but
Paul lays his hands on people, and by the name of Jesus, by the power of Jesus, they were healed. Their sickness was gone instantly.
It depends on the sickness. If you could give me like if it was a serious illness that can be like tricked into thinking like it's gone. But whatever. What's the next one?
So I think that that's a good place to start. He performed miracles. He had a visitation by Jesus. He was
the second miracle. I'm saying, like, what's the next miracle?
Well, I think that's a good place to start. So why do you reject him at this point, or what?
No, I'm saying, like, what's the next miracle?
I know I heard your question, but before we move on to me listing different miracles that you'll just reject, I'm asking, so far, I laid out two things. He had a visitation from Jesus, who called him to be his messenger to the Gentiles. And one of the proofs of this is that he performed miracles and God did miracles through him. So far, that's what we have. Do you have any objection to that?
All right. So the part where like he was seen, like he seen Jesus, all that stuff, like that part, nobody can really prove that. The miracle part, if people are saying he did it, that could be true. I mean, it depends. But
so what?
I want to hear the rest.
So what reasons do you have to reject him as a messenger?
I mean, I just don't know. I don't think the stuff he's saying about Jesus is true.
Like what?
About him getting crucified, but I just want to hear.
Why do you not believe what Paul is saying is true though?
Because so this is why I was reading the Quran, and like a bunch of like, not just the Quran, like I was researching my religion, and I got like a bunch of proofs that was true. So I found out true.
What is something that what like is giving you reason to trust Muhammad over what Paul says?
All right. I'm gonna give you some of the stuff Muhammad predicted. You give me some of the stuff Paul predicted, and we'll see who's more reliable and who to trust.
Okay.
But let me pull it up real quick.
You better type. Are you at your computer or what?
Oh yeah, I'm about to pull it up right now. I'm about to type. Oops.
It was the promise of Allah.
All right, should we do like 5-5?
Oh, look, we have somebody named Eutychus that Paul raised from the dead. When he
Wait, hold on, what was that?
Paul raised somebody from the dead.
No, I'm saying like predictions he made, because the only thing we can really do is since like we weren't alive at their time, the most reliable source is like predictions they made that would happen in the future.
I don't think so.
That have already happened. We have seen happen in our lives.
I don't think that that's the main thing that we can have. When you have,
I mean, I feel like that's the only actual proof.
If somebody's raising someone from the dead, you don't think that that's proof?
But you didn't see that, so that's why I'm saying the only proof we have, that was the proof for them. But we don't know if it's true, if it was just written down.
We do.
So
It's witnesses, and you see the effect of the person's life and actions.
But what's a better proof? You know, hearing a witness that was written down from like 2,000 years ago, or you being a witness.
But you're talking about something that happened 1,400 years ago as well. So that's what I'm saying.
Yes, no, I'm talking about like stuff that's happening today.
Okay. So if Muhammad has any false predictions, does that mean that he's unreliable?
Well, false predictions or predictions that didn't happen.
No, yeah. If he has false predictions that didn't happen, then that would mean that he's he's unreliable, right?
But most of them are happening, and some of them they're gonna happen eventually.
So what?
Most of them.
I'm talking about failed ones. If he has failed predictions, that means he's a false prophet, right?
What failed predictions? No, I mean it depends, because if it was failed, if we have proof it's not gonna happen in the future, then yeah.
Yeah, like I'm talking about something an absolute failure. Like it's clear that it's a failure.
Okay.
Would that make him a false prophet?
Let me hear this.
Okay. So there was a time where Muhammad, he predicted that the last hour would come in the time of a young boy, would come in the lifetime of a young boy. He was going to grow up and the last hour was going to come in his time. But it never came.
And you talking about his time? No, because there's a bunch of like analogies saying like how fast it's going to come. Like it's basically one time he said he's going to cut what's it called? It's mashabs or something. It's basically a necklace with a bunch of beads on it, and he's gonna imagine it like all the beads falling out that fast. That's how fast the day of judgment is gonna come. Yeah, it's just giving us analogies, but the actual predictions are different.
Yeah, let me show you what I'm talking about, because it's not nothing metaphoric at all. So this is what he says. This is Sahih Muslim.
But I'm not Sunni.
Oh, what are you?
I'm Shia.
What does that have to do with anything?
So I don't take some of their hadiths.
So you take some of their hadiths? I
take hadiths from my own books, but
Do you take some of the Sunni hadiths?
If I see them in my own books, yeah. I mean, yeah, I guess I take some of them.
Okay. So Sahih Muslim 2953a, it says, Anas reported that a person asked Allah's messenger as to when the last hour would come. He had in his presence a young boy of the Ansar who was called Muhammad. Allah's messenger said, if this young boy lives, he may not grow very old till the last hour comes to you.
He said if he lives.
Yeah, so if he lives, he may not grow very old until the last hour comes to you. So the last hour will come in his lifetime.
What? How did you get that out of that?
If the young boy lives, he may not grow very old. He won't get too much older until the last hour comes.
Okay, this I don't know. I don't understand how you got it would come in their lifetime, brother. How about we look at the actual predictions?
If this young boy lives, he may not grow very old until the last hour comes to you. Wait, did you hear that? Did you hear that? Because you just talk. You're just talking at this point.
Okay, but I just want to respond to
it. All right, so go ahead. Go ahead and respond to what is read.
That's not a prediction from Allah that Allah gave to Prophet Muhammad. That was someone asking a question about the final hour, and Muhammad gave a response to it.
So Muhammad gave a false prediction about the last hour. He gave
That's not a false prediction. That's not one of the predictions that was given to him by Allah.
He said the last hour would not come until this boy lives and grows very old, and you'll see it coming to you. Look, what do you mean he's not predicting it?
I'm narrating something to you that came from Prophet Muhammad, that came from Jibril, that came from Allah.
So you're saying that Muhammad is speaking of his own desires here?
That didn't come from Jibril. That didn't come from Jibril.
Yeah. So you're saying Muhammad is speaking of his own desires?
No, it's not his own desires. He's giving him like a metaphoric, and you took it so literally.
What do you mean a metaphor? He pointed. It's Muhammad. His name is Muhammad.
Okay, Muhammad what?
It doesn't say. It just says his name is Muhammad. Hold on, relax, bro. You're talking too much. Relax. It says his name is Muhammad, and Muhammad, when asked about the last hour, points to him and says, if he lives, he won't grow much older until you see the last hour coming. That's what he says.
Okay, but we were talking about the signs of the day of judgment that came from Muhammad, that came from Jibril, and that came from Allah, not from Muhammad.
Right. So Muhammad is speaking of his last. Muhammad is speaking of his own desires. Is that correct?
Bro. Bro, don't do this.
Yeah. So Muhammad is speaking not from Allah, not from Jibril, but from. Hold on. Get the answer. Relax. So you're saying Muhammad here is not speaking from Allah or Gabriel, but he's speaking from his own self, right?
Yeah, he is. He is speaking from his own self.
Okay, that's what I'm saying. So the Quran is wrong when it says that Muhammad never speaks of his own desires, right? He doesn't speak from his own self.
In the Quran, because he doesn't speak in his own desires.
So how do we know? How do we know? How do we know when Muhammad is actually speaking from Allah? Hold on a second, dude.
Can I speak?
Hey, thanks. Take care, man. You got too nervous here. Take care of yourself. Now, all of a sudden, ladies and gentlemen, Muhammad is not speaking from Allah or Gabriel. He's actually speaking from himself. This is his own answer. He's not getting this from Allah. So this is showing you that Muhammad is making predictions on his own. So how do you know anything else he says is from Allah and not his own self? I'm confused. Somebody help me. Oh, here Muhammad is only speaking of his own self. Oh, you're saying that because he got it wrong, huh? But the other ones, Muhammad he's inspired by God. Amazing.